Welcome. Thank you for tuning back in and listening. Pleasure. I'm your host, the one and only Rob G. Today we have a special event. If you notice, we're going live on Monday on this holiday. It's an episode that a lot of important information will be shared. We'll be talking about C.P.S, government, teachers, judge, and everything dealing with the youth. Not all in a good way. So we're gonna get right to the show because we're running a little bit behind with some technical difficulties. So as always, y'all welcome to the stage. My main man, my co-host, Mike, the one and only.
What up?
What's going on? What's going on, brother? All right. Glad you're able to join us today as always, man.
Hit the button.
What's been going on?
That's right. Hit the button. This the joint.
Definitely for this one.
Yeah, this the
As
joint.
we going through the introductions, we need y'all to share, push this out across all platforms, YouTube, whatever. Send those links out. So we're gonna keep right on with the introduction. Next up, y'all know her. Y'all done seen her on the show. As Mike says, she get her own Kool-Aid. She ain't got to ask for the bathroom. Y'all welcome to the stage, Minister BeKura. Y'all welcome BeKura.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on?
How y'all doing?
I'm doing all right today. I can't complain.
Yeah, man, it's a holiday or something, ain't it?
It's Labor Day.
Yeah, okay, all right.
You know,
whatever they call it.
We out here laboring. You know.
I get
no days off.
Man, every day is Labor Day, ain't it? You gotta go to work and get some money. All right.
Or be out here trying to save our people from this system.
Thanks.
All of that good stuff. All right, y'all welcome up next to the stage. We got Dr. Lucas. Y'all welcome Dr. Lucas to the stage.
Grand Rising, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Remember, like it's always been Labor Day for us.
Dr. Lucas, you don't want to add
I
you to
saw
the
her.
stage.
She was on.
Did she come? Oh, there she go.
I saw her.
Oh, let me try it again. Oh, there you go.
You see me?
Yes. You hear?
I said Grand Rising.
Yeah, we got
every day is Labor Day.
Absolutely.
I'm glad to be here. It's great to be in a space where we can really get the truth out, the truth, not somebody else's truth, but the truth out to our people, and not only the truth, but solutions.
Right.
So I'm glad to be here with y'all. Y'all be blessed.
All right, glad to have you on. And last but not least, we got Minister Sims. I think she got everything right. Let's see if we can hear her. Y'all welcome Minister Sims to the stage.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Yay!
All right. There we go.
We got something.
What are you doing?
The enemy is busy. He's trying not to let this movement go forward on this podcast, but the devil is a liar. I'm glad to be here on, like Dr. Lucas said, it's Labor Day. For some of us, it's been labor for a long time. And I know God says to cast all of our cares on him and he'll give us rest. So I don't care how hard we labor, God got our back. And thank you, Rob. And thank you. Is it Kevin?
Mike,
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike, for having us on here. It's good to have a platform. Like Dr. Lucas says, there's always two sides to every story. And then there's three truths. It's our truth, their truth, but it's the God honest truth. It's the only one that we need to be worried about.
You notice that's the only one that say honest in it.
Hey, yes.
That's the fact.
All right. All right. Thank y'all.
No problem. So, Kira, I'm gonna let you go ahead while I'm trying to still load up some of these notes and stuff. And
All righty.
to get it going.
Well, most definitely, always gratitude to you, Rob and Mike, for extending this platform for us to be able to talk to our communities about the important things that are happening. And And today is a very special day because we get the opportunity to actually see inside the world of CPS and how they are attacking our communities and our Black and brown families, particularly Black families. Because I have to, our advocacy, although we do advocate for everybody, we have to highlight the atrocities that are happening in Black communities and how they operate so that we can, keep one another safe. So today we are going to talk about the harrowing experience that Minister Sams has had with her grandchildren, and also Dr. Candace Lucas, the advocate on the case. And I want to say this, Dr. Candace Lucas has been an advocate for our children that are supposed to be receiving special ed services, not only in this state, but nationally. And to the point where she is just so fierce that she puts her freedom on the line all the time. Dr. Candace has been arrested. She don't play no games with these people. She's on the front lines, and so she deserves the community support. She deserves to be surrounded. She deserves to be protected, because who else is out there? Like, when we got people that are willing to be on the front line, and she's a mother, to be on the front line, we are supposed to do our due diligence and protect those that are on the front lines for us. And so I just want to shout her out, because she's also my children's educational power of attorney. And when I had moved back home, I had a truancy case. Well, they was trying to bring a truancy case, and I was telling Dr. Lucas, and at the time she wasn't Dr. Lucas yet. She hadn't even went back to school yet, but she was like, this not finna happen. All I want to say is this: I haven't had no problems since. They ain't sent no letters. They ain't making no phone calls. We don't have no problems. And that was when my daughter was in 3rd grade, and she's in 12th grade now. And so, it's important to have knowledgeable advocates and community. Please don't believe the hype just because somebody doesn't have 457,000 people following behind them. That is not the measure of if somebody is competent or not. The majority of the times, those of us who are doing this work don't have a huge following, because it is work. It's hard work, and you will. The sacrifice is great. The police are coming. That's how you know. That's how you know if an advocate about worth their grain of salt. If the police that came after them, that stayed after them, you know it's real. Unfortunately, and so recently, the state took out did a grand jury indictment on Dr. Lucas for unauthorized practice of law, a charge that they came after me with, and 2 other of our sisters in the work, for fighting for families. And we've never heard of the state doing a grand jury indictment on a misdemeanor. This is how bad they want her. This is how bad that they will do, go to the extreme and bring in special prosecutors to take her down. And so again, we want to make sure that we are protecting those that are protecting us, and that we are informed with the truth when it comes to CPS, because it is no joke. I call it child unprotected services. Once they get their grips on your children, it is hell trying to get your children back. So with that being said, we're gonna start this show tonight. And Rob, you got something?
No, I just wanted to highlight 2 things before you get into it, and I'm gonna be quick with it. So one is this comment that Miss Mary Scott said, and I put it up there. She said, "Let us remember the system is not broken. It's working just as designed. It cannot be fixed. It must be abolished."
Better know it. We are definitely abolitionists in this space.
With that being said, I just want to before we dive in, I didn't know where you was going there or not. I was like, I know it's an important case. So let's let the people know what the case is and what it's about, in case they want to do some looking up as in the comments, and they can follow along what they read or see.
Okay, so let me break this down. When it's a juvenile case, you will not be able to pull that case up in any case system, because it is a juvenile that is protected. And so there are instances where you can ask the court for your case to be open. 9 times out of 10, they will not open the case. We did it. The judge denied the request. They want these cases to remain closed because they say it's protecting the child. But let me tell you, folks, the worst thing you can do is allow the courts to have your case closed. So even though they may deny it, just keep pushing, because there is no justice in closed courtrooms. And your protection comes from oversight, people being able to see what is happening in these courtrooms. So they'll also do gag orders on family. That is like the number one tactic is the gag order. And the gag order is a order of silence that says that you are not to talk about the case except to your attorney, DCS judges, or whatever the case may be. Now, the law says the gag orders are not supposed to be used liberally in that sense. However, who gonna check them? And it's only about 5 of us that's coming after the courts, and so they, we need some more numbers. We need more people. Second thing is,
The gag order is a violation of the First Amendment.
It most certainly is. And for the First Amendment of speech,
Yeah.
you have a right.
Just keep it in mind, and this is the most simplistic approach that we can take, that we don't take as Black people specifically, people of color specifically. Constitutional rights, period. Constitutional
Trump
rights.
Everything.
If a judge can say, I'm not violating your constitutional right, and you say they are, get it in writing. Put them, get it in writing. It is not difficult. We're going to show y'all how to fight, and fight them with that piece of paper.
Most definitely. And the last thing is that, and I think it's paramount, is that the system has never saved us, and they're never coming to save us. And so it is our job. It is our duty to win, and we have nothing to lose but our chains. And we have to truly understand that. I don't care who drops in, got the best suit on, saying they're a politician and they're coming to help and this and that and the third. You follow that money and you'll see exactly who they're here for. But that has never been the job of the government. They are not coming to save us. We must save ourselves. And so Dr. Lucas's case, you can pull hers up. Now of course, she's an adult, and you can pull her case up, and you have criminal and civil cases in both state and federal court. This is nuts.
Since 2018, I have had 5, I call them slap suits. And in Virginia, a slap suit is filed against an activist to silence them. And so I've had 6 slap suits. The last 3 were within the last 12 months. Okay, and I need to make that clear. The last 3 were in the last 12 months, and they were from 2 of the counties, Virginia, Goochland and Powhatan. Okay, and the Sands Anderson law firm, which is one of the oldest law firms in Virginia, and one of the most racist law firms in Virginia. So when you combine big law and big ed, then you're going to see some big issues. Okay, and so basically what we have done in what has happened in these cases is that, and Minister Sims is one of the cases, the school divisions and their pimps, the law firms, the big law, they have sued Minister Sims and I and 2 other families for filing too many complaints about them abusing our kids. They're called special education due process complaints. Now, I need to make it clear that in 2018, I started litigating special education due process complaints. I am not an attorney, don't want to be one. If I could have been one, I would have been one. I would have been better than most of the ones out there. Okay, so for people who say, oh, she's trying to be an attorney, she's operating in, the unauthorized practice of law, that is a bold-faced lie. In fact, if you do your research, the Virginia State Bar was created to stop Black civil rights attorneys. Okay, now that's deep. The Virginia State Bar was created to regulate and neutralize those who already had a license to practice law. So now what they're doing, what the white power structure is doing, is they're taking white supremacy to trump the supremacy clause. I'm gonna let that marinate a little bit. They're taking white supremacy to trump the supremacy clause. The supremacy clause says that federal law trumps every law. And so in Virginia, we're back to massive resistance, where we have federal judges that are stating that UPL, unauthorized practice of law, trumps my federal right to be a parent, counselor, and educator under the Individuals with Disabilities Act, which is I get to help families who are trying to navigate special education, because that's what I'm licensed in. That's what I do. And so these lawsuits are Cracker Jack lawsuits. One of them was for $330,000 in attorney's fees. The judge did not require them to produce any paid invoices, did not require them to produce any documentation to substantiate their claim, but didn't even have a hearing. Just went ahead, and his name is Judge Robert E. Payne, P-A-Y-E. For the purposes of this podcast, I will call him Judge Robert E. P-A-I-N. Judge Robert Payne. That's what I call him. That's what he is to our community. And he's
hold on, Candace. Hold on. Let me interject a little bit. And so what is significant about what Candace just said is that the courts just violated all civil procedure and awarded this law firm that is supposed to be protecting our children, however, are serving as henchmen against advocates who now must have to come in to protect our children because they won't, have awarded them $330,000 in attorney fees.
They
not doing what they were supposed to do against Dr. Lucas.
Let me correct you. They are not, anyone who hires the Sands Anderson law firm, any school board that hires them, if you pull their client agreement via FOIA request, their job is not to protect the children. Their job is to protect the school board.
So I get that. What I'm saying is, but that is not what they were supposed. That's the fraud right there. That's the fraud right there. That MOU should have never existed. Never should there be a contract that they take our money to go against us, ever. And so that's why we also have to do our jobs politically to expose this and to go after them and say, oh no, we're taking our money back. But go ahead, Dr. Lucas.
I do you one better. Not only is the school board in Sands Anderson and Beth Teagan the superintendent. It used to be the superintendent in Chesterfield, where BeKura is right. I mean, she used to be a principal and administrator in Chesterfield, where BeKura is, and that's another thing. They passed the trash from school
district to district to district. They like police officers. Bad police. They just shuffle them around.
And what occurred is that they decided that they were going to sue me and my families for filing complaints about them abusing our children. Now, mind you, they did not go through the proper protocols. They went straight to federal court to who I'll call Big Daddy Payne, because they couldn't fight fair, and they couldn't win fair. And I'm not bragging, because God gives us supernatural wisdom. All I'm stating is that in Virginia, the win rate for due process complaints was 2% for families. Okay. With Saad El-Amin, who is the GOAT. If y'all don't know who Saad El-Amin is, he is the GOAT. Look him up. When we got together, he taught me everything I needed to know about litigation. I taught him everything he needed to know about special education law. The win rate went from 2%, and because of these two Black people, this hot yellow Black girl from the South Side, and this Muslim man who took Virginia by storm, to 67%.
And
So,
Candace, when we say that what's significant about that 2% means that these children were denied services. You know what I'm saying? They were not getting what they needed to support them educationally. And the state and the local jurisdictions went along with this. This is a diabolical scheme against our children. And they'll take these political campaigns and say, we care about children. I'm about children. Well, where you at?
And the only way I can really equate what's going on is this is special education student trafficking. A lot of people talk about human trafficking. This is special education student trafficking. It's sped kids for sped cash. We all heard about the story about how those federal court judges were sentencing kids to, the judges were sentencing kids to these private prisons for profit. Okay, that is exactly what is going on in Virginia. That is exactly what is going on in Maryland, in Florida, in California. The money, the educational funding, the IDEA grant money that is being funneled to the states is being embezzled, misappropriated, misallocated. And let me say it again. It's being embezzled. I said it. And I'm not going to take it back because I got the information to prove it. And it is being misallocated and misappropriated. Not a little bit. We talking tens of millions of dollars. Just last month, Loudoun County, one of the richest counties in the nation, had to pay back $29 million for 1 year of fraud. After I went back, and I broke in the news. Now, we've been telling that Loudoun County has been committing fraud since 2019. I went back and did the calculation. Got $407 million. So can you imagine throughout the nation how our children are being used as cash cows, where their money is not the school division's money? So when people tell you that public schools are underfunded, that is a bold-faced lie.
Maury determined that was a lie.
Yeah. That is a lie. First of all, public schools do not exist. Public school students do. Okay. And so when you talk about public school as an entity, it's our money. For some reason, there's been such a deception that you coming in asking to take all this money from us. It's my money. It's my money. And so we need to really understand how deep this is. All of the federal court judges, the juvenile court judges that are involved in Minister Sims' case, my case, and the other two cases are Powhatan v. Skinger and Powhatan v. Halverson. Every single one of those judges has a financial interest in bonds. Bonds that build prisons and schools. I'm going to let that marinate.
That these judges have invested in. Okay? So, and the reason why we talked about the school, because I know people are probably like confused.
It's a triangle.
We wanted to show you how to use the school system. And when we say school to prison pipeline, this is also a part of it. And it's an extension where now they're taking your children out of your homes. And so we could double back into that or do another show on how we need to keep our children safe dealing with the public school system. But now I want to
get them out of it.
We are definite supporters of other alternatives. What did you call it, Candace?
We're advocating for legislation which is called consumer-directed
Consumer
directed educational services, and it is the same model that is used for Medicaid where they have consumer directed medical services, where if you're not satisfied with what's going on with the system that already exists, you get the money on a card or you get the money on an account and you train people to meet the unique needs of your child. It already exists under Medicaid, consumer directed medical services. And you know why Medicaid created that model? Because of Medicaid fraud. Because of Medicaid fraud. Okay. So we're advocating for a new model on a national level called consumer directed educational services. Now, the Governor Youngkin, who is completely sold out. I'm sorry, Glenn. You and your wife Pollyanna, y'all done completely sold us out, and you told us you wasn't gonna do it, but you did. You sold out the Black parents and the parents of students with disabilities because you're too focused on who goes in what bathroom, which I don't care about. But that's a whole nother story in Virginia. But we have legislators who are gung-ho about consumer directed educational services. And we are looking to be the first state to launch that legislation.
I have ever since the ushering in of police SROs in our schools, that was the nail in the coffin. That was it. And I made a post the other day telling all parents to go and run and go get a copy of the MOU from your school board that exists, that is the contract between the police department and your school district, and how it turns over the school district to the police department. Same thing happened in Chesterfield. I read the whole MOU some months ago. And parents are not privy to this information, and we just normally just agree with whatever the popular people are saying we should and get in these pictures and smile when we are being complacent, complicit in our own children's demise. And so it's incredibly important that you educate yourself and be informed so that you can be able to advocate for yourself and your children, because there is a real attack. This is not make-believe. This is real. And so we're going to go ahead and segue into
BeKura, let me say one more thing. Do not sign the student code of conduct.
Oh, heck no.
School.
Oh, no.
Of the year, they send you a massive amount of paper to sign. Why would you get in the contract with the school division to not whether, how to discipline your child? That's what the student code of conduct is. Do not sign. In fact, put on that I do not agree. Sign, stated,
it'll come just like this, and she's talking about this book right here, and it'll be the last page every year. And so listen, but let me say this, because they changed the language. They did change it, because I refuse. They did change the language. I don't know if it's everywhere, but for Chesterfield, they changed the language to saying that signing it does not give up your rights. And see, this is the thing. You can, in a contract, you can't do a thing and give up the thing that you're saying you're going to do at the same time. It doesn't work that way. And so you are actually consenting. When you sign, you are consenting to what's in that book. Period. I don't care whatever. And so I never signed that book. And so this year what they said is that my children would not receive their Chromebooks. And I said, well, you're going to figure out how they're going to get the information. That's on you. I could care less what you do. They better not miss an assignment. So we don't do that. We're not doing that. And that's why it's also important to know how to advocate for, yourself. And so that my son's elementary school said they weren't even going to be using Chromebooks this year, like talking about it, because of the students were breaking the firewalls to the Chromebooks, and these elementary school students. But anywho, let's segue on into this. Before we segue,
Yeah, nah, we got comments too. We want to you got a popping noise coming back real hard. We
I
don't want the
do.
people to we want the people to
Okay, let
let
me
me make
log off and come back on.
hold on. Let me make sure I'm gonna figure out who it is. I just got back to the desk. I can tell by I can mute certain people as we talking. Yeah, let me see if it's you. Cause if we it's you. You might just got if it might just be wherever your mic if you got a speaker or something, it might just be close to something. That's all.
I'm on my laptop.
It ain't. Let me see. Yeah, it ain't doing it now. But yeah,
Really?
that's what they were saying it in the
Okay.
comments too. Let me catch up on some of these comments. I'll let us know. Sorry, y'all had to listen. Tuesday's my normal night, Monday the night, and I had a whole lot going on, deliveries and everything. So I had to. All right, let's see. Let's catch up on some of the comments. We said something about. Did we speak on them or not? Nope. Sarah Pike. So we're gonna start with her comment and go down. She said, Virginia State Bar is a violation of the Sherman Act and is a monopoly, is a terrorist organization that should not, excuse me, should not, I don't know, I guess she said exist. Maybe I ain't get all that on
We
there.
agree.
Um, they did say the audio is choppy. What? The Virginia State Bar. Somebody saying Anderson, delegate, that's horrible. Oh my God. Yeah, a lot of these are just commenting, good Lord, to what y'all was saying. I just want to make sure we got that sound and caught up. She said that's a great idea. Consumer directed educational services. Audio choppy, audio choppy. Okay, somebody, Mary Scott said, my son was 16 when he first was handcuffed by SRO for posting a video of a marijuana joint school to prison pipeline in action. All right, I just want to catch up, and I'm gonna put y'all comments auto on the screen from here on out, and we can go ahead and segue so we get into what y'all want to talk about the case, so people can see what you got going on. I appreciate everybody. Keep sharing. We got some good viewers on.
Yes. So, Minister Sims, first of all, I want to sincerely apologize to you for even having to go through this to have to tell this story. You know, it's hard to be living the story that you have to continue to tell folks, not only for yourself, but to keep others safe. And nobody should have to go through what C.P.S. puts, people through. And you've already suffered one loss, and now you're trying to protect your grandchildren, and the agency that was created to do so is doing the exact opposite. So if you could give the audience a rundown of what happened that landed you with custody of your grandsons. Are you on mute? We can't hear you. I can't anyway.
Yeah, she was on mute. Let me see if she took it off.
Yeah, it's off mute now.
Nope.
She off mute now. Nope, we can't still hear her. Yep. When you go on mute, somehow you can't come back off mute. I don't know what's going on with that. Right, we can't hear you.
Okay, she's gonna
log off and come back on.
Log back on. And so while we're waiting for her to come back on,
you back popping again? Yep, you start popping again. Whatever that. Elder Sims, somebody. You sound good for so far, man. Nope, there you go. It came back. Was you saying something?
It's
Dr. Candy?
That it's just this show.
But you know what? We still gonna go on. Let me tell. While she's signing back in, I'm gonna go ahead and just do an intro for her. Can I do that?
Yep.
First of all, sure. Minister Cheryl Sims ended up picking two grandbabies up from a crack house. Okay, they were left in the crack house.
Did you all hear that? Because I heard it like in and out.
A lot of it choppy.
It's still choppy. Is that better?
Y'all chop. Yeah, real chop. You
We
you got
never
that.
have any sound problems ever.
Well, I'm going to let you guys know whenever we go live with things like this, people are watching and they're tampering with our information.
I could go for that.
Can y'all hear now?
Um,
Is there a way to call
I
in?
I heard no. I heard you very clear. Minister Sims is getting back on.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, but there we in fact, just so you know, we've obtained invoices in which Sands Anderson was monitoring and surveilling us online and billing taxpayers
Hmm.
for it. We can't make this amounts to our house for 5 times up. And the thing is that that's how we know we're affected.
Well, I know they scrambled y'all's phones when we got out of court that day because mine was working fine and neither one of y'all's phones was working.
And so my thing is that we're not crazy. We just ain't we're not in the matrix, guys. We're not in the matrix. We're not at home anymore, Toto. Okay, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. But that's okay because the bottom line is that we are still gonna get the word out no matter what. Minister Sims went and picked her 2 babies up, her grandbabies up. They were what was it? Three, I think it was 4 and 2 at the time. They have been left at a crack house by the man who murdered their mother. Okay. They had watched this man murder their mother. The story is that the mother was attempting to stop him from molesting them. Okay. And when the body stayed in the house with the children. He did not kill the children, thank God.
Say that
Thank you,
again,
Lord.
Candace. Go back a little bit.
Can y'all hear me?
He
Yeah.
did end up killing himself. He
Somebody's
did
messing with
end
my
up
phone.
killing himself. Minister Sims went and got the boys. And I have to give Mr. John Sims a shout out too, because I call him Mr. John, her husband. That's a black man, y'all. That's a black man. Mr. John is I'm going to say black man. Okay. That man stands by Minister Sims like you would not believe. And those boys love him. Okay. And the issue right now, and I'm gonna let Minister Sims, I just told them a little bit history about Chardonnay.
Okay, can
Okay.
y'all hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
that's a lot
okay.
better. I just told
I
them a
just
little bit. I
let me
started
clear up a
off.
few things, Dr. Lucas. Let me clear up a few things. In June of 2021,
She breaking up again, isn't
my
she?
oldest, yeah, somebody's messing with my phone. In June of
Here she go
2021,
again.
y'all can't hear me.
I
Can you
can.
hear me?
I
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you clear. I can hear
Oh,
you real
okay.
good. Go ahead.
In June of 2021, my oldest son's ex-girlfriend, she had started dating this guy in December of 2019, right after her and my son had broke up in November. And Carter and Croy, and there are other siblings, but they're not Chardonnay's kids. But Carter and Croy are my oldest sons and Chardonnay's kids. And she started dating this guy who came around and befriended my son. My son works on cars, and that's how he became friends with this guy. Where he got in her ear and decided to groom her and be narcissistic, and he got my son pushed out and himself pulled in. And what I can say is that he almost profiled her, and it was like a pedophile type situation. It was more about the kids than it was about her. She didn't figure out until it was too late. She posted on Facebook that she felt things had taken a terrible turn, but within a matter of weeks he killed her in front of my grandkids. At the time, The oldest one was 4, getting ready to turn 5 a few weeks later. And the youngest one was 3. And he had just turned 3. It was a horrific ordeal. She was only 26, hardworking. She cared about her kids so much. She had so many ambitions. She wanted to be in the fashion industry and the real estate industry. And her life was taken far too soon. And the most egregious, atrocious, horrific things were left behind. What happened to my grandkids? It's unspeakable things happened to my grandkids. And they watched their mother lay there and die after he shot her. And so I got them. They didn't find her until he took her life on June the 4th. But the police didn't find her body until June the 6th when they did a well child check. Her car was spotted. They pulled the VIN number, found the address, went to the house. She was laying there dead on the floor. The kids had been moved out of the house. They stayed there all that day with their mom in the house, deceased. The man who took her life didn't take the kids out until late in the night, in the wee hours of the morning. He took them to a friend's house. And this guy kept the kids for probably close to 24 hours, but maybe a little bit shy of less. This friend of his told the police he took my grandkids to this guy's grandmother's house. But the kids said that's not true. They said he came back to that man's house and took them to his grandmother's house. And that's where the police found them on that Sunday. Well, his aunts, their mother's sister, picked them up and delivered them to my son in a crack house. And when we found out that, we got in touch with my son. We told him we're coming to get the boys. There is no way you can raise kids in a crack house. And we went and got them. They wasn't even there 24 hours. They have been with us since June the 7th of 2021. And Carter, they took him out of my custody in July of 2024. And they just took Croy out of my custody, terminating my custody of both boys on August the 15th, 2025, in a Henrico J&D court by a judge. These people had filed. It started with the school. They started retaliating against me, filing false no trespass against me. They were filing false C.P.S. claims against me. They were retaliatory towards me in IEP meetings and due process hearings. I mean, you could just tell it was a whole scam. And I kept telling, and Dr. Lucas can chime in, I kept telling you, y'all are setting me up. And I am smarter than that. I know what you're doing. And they filed all these false charges of C.P.S., found out none of them were true and accurate, that we had the proof to support everything. My oldest son was TDO'd into a psychiatric facility in April of 2017. The courts had all these documents. And they said I committed abandonment when the doctors told me not to go get him. The judge that TDO'd him in Hopewell said for him to be put into a residential. Well, the GAL got busy with the social worker at this facility, and they decided to file C.P.S. charges against me of abandonment. Well, they went through all that, and I was clear. And then they come back with, put some more C.P.S. charge on me for child neglect, because my other grandson kept getting abused in the school, and I was filing C.P.S. charges, and they were sweeping them under the rug. I mean, the police, the C.P.S., they were just covering up all of this together. And when they terminated my custody on August the 15th, they had nothing on me. No reason to terminate my custody at all, because I did everything that the medical professionals and the mental health professionals said, and other courts. There were 2 other courts involved, Hopewell and the Circuit Court in Goochland, and they still terminated my rights with a closed C.P.S. claim.
And I wanted to. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Correct.
Candace. Okay, so let me hop in right quick. So, I hope folks understand. So, Minister Sims had been granted custody of her grandchildren, and this other entity comes and says, makes up the accusation of abandonment, while there is a document from medical professionals, experts, that says, do not remove the child. The child needs to stay in this residential treatment. C.P.S. makes the decision that says they feel like they have more power than all doctors and everybody else, that you should have went and got your grandchild. And even if they felt that way, they should at least called her up and said, look, go get your grandchild. But no, they make up a situation and the courts buy it. And here comes the snowball and the additional. Because listen, once you tell one lie, you got to tell 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to cover it up. So they effed around and found out that Minister Sims want that one. And so now they got to do a whole bunch of other covering up. And not only was she not the one, that she had people behind her that they didn't even know. So Candace, go ahead.
What I was going to state is that, and I'm going to show y'all this. Can y'all see that?
Not really.
Okay. Can y'all see it now?
It is not. I mean, we can see it, but we can't see it.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to show this. What I was trying to show you is that in Henrico County on September 10th, 2021, Minister Cheryl Sims became the administrator of Chardonnay Nicole Gunn's entire estate. Not Chardonnay's mama, Teresa Gunn John, but Minister Sims did. And that was given to her by the county clerk. And I wanted Shannon Taylor to hear that. Shannon Taylor is the Commonwealth attorney for Henrico, who's been monitoring this who says she's been monitoring this since last April, and says that she feels her heart goes out to Minister Sims, but Shannon's not sending any justice out to Minister Sims. And this is right under Henrico County, where Shannon has been a Commonwealth attorney for almost a decade. And it says, I, Heidi S. Breschinger, clerk of the Circuit Court of the County of Henrico in Commonwealth of Virginia, do hereby certify that on the 10th day of September 2021, Cheryl D. Sims qualified as the administrator of the state for Chardonnay Nicole Gunn. And it documents that it is the estate, and any person may pay or deliver to her anything associated with that. Then I want you guys to look at this. I want you guys to consider this. In the Goochland Circuit Court, case number CL 215-580, in regarding Carter Nasir Gunn, and Croy. What's Croy's middle name, Minister Sims? I'm trying to find it.
Niles
Gunn. And this was as of March 5th, 2022. Less than 3 years ago. Okay. The judge point blank said, by order of the Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court of Henrico County, Virginia, into July 8th, 2021, sole legal and physical custody of Carter Nasir Gunn and Croy Niles Gunn was granted to petitioner Cheryl Denise Sims. Then it states that Carter Nasir Gunn is named as the beneficiary of all policies related to his mother, and the application of those policies, which was $32,500, which his grandmother stole. Okay, his maternal grandmother stole.
Yeah.
And C.P.S. gave him to his maternal grandmother. I'm going to let that marinate.
And I'm going to tell you why they do this, folks. Let me interject right quick. Let me tell you why CPS uses families against each other because they need to have somebody that will side with them. And so they'll make sure that the other side, they'll bring in the other side of the family to be a part of their adversarial plan. And when they go to court, they'll have somebody to say XYZ, whatever they have coached them to say. And you have families. When we talk about a scheme against families, it is the worst kind. Mothers and fathers against each other, children against their parents, one side against the other. And that's what they did. They're playing the paternal side against the mother side. And they went and told the maternal side, look, I'm going to make sure you got this, that, and the third. Go against these people. Mind you, the maternal side did not want these children. They never came for these children until they found out it was some money. Go ahead.
And just to be clear, Judge Margaret DeGlow, and it's not, and I need to make sure that you understand that a lot of times the way that CPS works is that they will go ahead. Oh, sorry, y'all. Hold on a second. I didn't mean for y'all to see my my pumpkin seeds. But anyway, I wanted y'all to understand that the way CPS works is that the schools have an MOU with CPS. I need you to understand that all the schools have a memorandum of understanding with CPS. And so what we find is that the schools, the law firms like Sands Anderson, the GALs, the Guardian and Light, they are in what I call the child welfare system. And their goal is to funnel our children away from their families, away from relatives that are doing the right thing, because Minister Sims' only issue, her only crime as far as they were concerned, was that she was advocating for a Black child with severe mental health issues to go to a residential treatment program that the doctor ordered. And both of the boys could face some mental health.
Dr. Lucas, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
If I can interject for a second. After the judge ordered that the other grandmother go get my grandson from out of the mental facility and gave us joint custody, both of us temporary custody, but her sole custody and the decision maker, even though I have circuit court documents that say only I can do that because she was doing child welfare fraud, going around stealing the kids' money. And the courts knew this. Shannon Taylor knew this. They all had the documents because I gave it to them. And Judge DeGlow even called her, the other grandmother. She said, don't you know you've committed fraud? Do you know you have committed crimes? Do you know I could issue an order and make you provide your bank account information in 48 hours? They knew all this. So keep your notes now. I want you to listen closely. So they allowed her to go on August the 2nd of 2024 to get my grandson out of that mental facility. A few days later, they put him in a public school. A few weeks later, he stabbed a teacher with a pencil. Not only did he stab a teacher with a pencil, he pushed what the teacher said, a student off of a high file cabinet and told him verbally, I want to see you die. I want you to crack your head open and bleed out. Let alone, he choked the teacher until she almost passed out, and with his forearm, and he almost choked the student in the same manner till they almost passed out. He crawled on a bus. He ran from the school. The note says he ran down Massaponack Highway, and they had to catch him. He left off the school property and went down the highway. He went through 2 or 3 schools before they put him in a private setting. And then they had the audacity to act like that was just being advocated. The doctors, the mental health professionals, and myself, along with a judge in Hopewell, we were all, and Dr. Lucas, along with other advocates, Mr. Sekou Shabaka, the NAACP, we all, a bunch of attorneys, we all advocated for this. The more I advocated, you guys, the more they retaliated against me. They filed a false no trespass against me. They called a medical professional, you guys, and tried to get her. Now, the GL, I just found out because the GAL covered itself from the courts. He lied in court in October and said that the doctors that had been called to try to say that I committed forgery of a medical homebound form. A note was sent to the court in October that was concealed from the courts and concealed from me that said I told the GAL. You see, he hid it because it told his misconduct and his mischief. It said the GAL contacted me to try to question me about a document that they're saying Minister Sims forged. She said, I told them then that the document wasn't forged, and I'm still saying it's not forged. And she said those children are in a horrible way. And the somber memory of their mother being killed in June of 2021 will forever be on these children's minds. And they are going to have a hard time. She talked about how they were taking psychotropic drugs and how they needed this service and that service. And the more I advocated for it, the more these people retaliate against me. And I have every proof, every single stitch of proof to prove it. I gave it to the courts. My other grandson was abused in the preschool.
Hold on, stop, Minister. You gave it to the courts, and what did the courts do?
They concealed it all. And matter of fact, when we gave them the last anecdotal notes and the threat assessments and the suspension letter, the judge said, I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to terminate your custody. And she said, you didn't even try to contact the court. I said, yeah, we did. And I have the email showing when we asked for ex parte communication with her when my grandson went back to the school. He ended up eloping. The police escorted him and Dr. Lucas out of the school. And I said, this is unsafe. Paired with you guys not putting his medical records in his scholastic school records and cumulative files, you're setting my grandson up to be on the preschool to prison pipeline. And they had C.P.S. on hold.
Let me interject right quick.
Okay.
And it also put other students in danger.
And
they said that the young man needed to stay in.
Minister Shabazz, my grandson was in they supplied transportation. He was in a van with two other kids until he was physically attacking them and threatened to kill them. And so then they took him out and put him in a car. And he attacked the principal. He beat her one day so bad she was bleeding. He was exposing himself. He was threatening to kill them there. But all they could do was retaliate against me and cover up.
I was on that IEP meeting.
And check this out. Dr. Lucas had FOIA'd the threat assessments because we went into a due process. We were so sure we would win that with all the evidence we had. We had and they ended up with their exhibit books and had anecdotal notes we had never seen before. And it gave a rundown on everything that was going in the school. And it was horrific. When I say it was an unsafe place, it was unsafe, like you said, Minister BeKura, it was unsafe for him. And it was unsafe for everybody around him. And all the medical professionals, the psychiatrists, the therapists, the neurologists, the neurologists, they all said this child shouldn't have never seen the inside of a public school because they knew what was going to happen. But what they did was, like you said, when they sent SROs into the school, they sent them in not to protect the schools, but to profile children to see which ones they would send down the line to be locked up into juvenile hall or either be tried as adult and go to the penal system. Do you see what I'm saying? This thing is all corrupt. It comes from the school. It works its way into C.P.S. and the police stations, and then it heads on over to the courthouses. They bring in other family members that are adversary towards one another in the first place. When we should be working together, they're thinking about is some money because their track record already show that. That's why I have the administration, the courthouse, know that she was stealing the money, and they call me in to rectify the situations to protect my grandkids. They didn't call her. They called me. They said, you have the kids. You have to protect them from even the other family. So it wasn't just the grandmother that stole the money. The aunt that has Croy that came into court on August the 14th and filed for, she thought custody, but the document says only visitation. She did that on August 14th. They let her come into my custody trial with the grandmother, the maternal grandmother, and tried her case too. I hadn't even been served.
What date was that?
August the 15th, 2025.
Everybody that knows on the planet of planet that you're not going to have a custody or a visitation case heard in the same day, the same week.
Less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours.
Exactly.
Well, I'll say less than 29 hours. They heard her case. I hadn't been served. She only asked for visitation on that document. She told the judge that she had asked for custody and visitation. She admitted to having a boyfriend in the house that and he's not even from this country, had not been vetted. No home study was done. Be mindful, the mom let a man in the house who blew her brains out in front of my grandkids. And now you're going to put my grandson, who is already traumatized and disabled, you're going to put him in the house with unvetted people. So if something happened to him, it's all on them. It's on them.
And I'm gonna say this. When I spoke with Delegate AC Cardoza about service, putting a bill forward about service next year, he agreed to do that because these road courts are crazy. That hearing was illegal and not enforceable. You did not get service. They didn't even have time to serve.
Well, BeKura, I had multiple lawyers that dropped off the case because they said my case was too hard to handle.
There's no lawyers. Let me say this.
No, and I hired one 2 days. I hired one 2 days before the court hearing, and he asked for a continuance. The judge flat out denied it. No due process. She gave him 30 minutes to get versed up with a case that had been going on since February of 2024. And the grandma actually filed it in December of 2023. It didn't reach the court. And when they assigned the GAL, God had already told me he wasn't assigned. He was a part of the lynching team.
Oh, GAL.
It was a judicial lynching. It was a judicial lynching. And I just want to tell you, this ain't just about my grandkids. They've done this evil, twisted, unspeakable, diabolical acts to people from all walks of life. I don't care if you're black, white, green, gray, whatever. They have done it. It's all about money. Our kids, Mr. Shabaka called them, they said it's a thing called chattel. CHITTLE, chattel, where your kids is seen to be nothing but a money-making mechanism for them.
There is a legal term. So parents' patry, everybody write down parents' patry. It is a concept of law that says that the state has a greater interest in our children than we do. It's sort of like eminent domain with property. Like you can buy a house, but they always have the rights to come in and take your house and tax you for it. And if you don't pay those taxes, they come in and take your house, even though it's paid for. But parents' patry gives the state authority to do what it is that they're doing because it is assumed that they have a greater interest in your children than you do. And so when you look at that, you got to ask the state, well, where your check at then? Because if you have a greater interest, then why aren't we making sure that these children got everything that they need? We know that there's children that are homeless, don't have this, that, and the third, are denied educational services. My children are two of them. So, like, where is our check at since you all have a greater interest in these children than we do?
Yeah, it's
amazing. And
can
so
y'all hear me?
So the therapist, you mentioned the therapist that was this same GAL was threatening the therapist. Could you tell the people about that?
Yes. Can y'all hear me? Because my mic was muted. Okay. Yes, there was multiple people. It wasn't just
sorry. Let me interject real quick. I wanted to say this before you get going. That's me muting the mics. We got a lot of issues, and I'm trying to control it much as we can to get all the information out. So sometimes with the 2-3 different mics, everybody got a little feedback. So if everybody mic going, I'm trying to keep it on the speaker so the speaker could be heard. So I'm just funneling back and forth. Like you got a lot of echo with it, but I don't want to interject and keep telling you that because I want you to get your information out so we can get ready to wrap up in a few. We probably got about 20 minutes left, 30 minutes.
And Mr. Rob, I'll wave my hands when time to talk, so you'll know to unmute me.
I'm on top. I'm on top of it. I'm on top of it. You got it. You just keep on going.
Okay, thank you, darling. About the therapist, all of the medical providers were contacted, but it seemed like the African American medical providers were treated harshly. They were intimidated. They were threatened. When we got in the courtroom, one of those medical providers, which was the therapist, he was a black male. He was a witness for me. He came in. He told everything that had went on and about the report that he had filed. But when he got to the end, he told the judge. He said, "Judge, I got one thing I want to clear with you." And she said, "Yes." He said, "I'm a grown man and I'm a professional." He said, I'm a professional most of all. He said, "But you had the CASA rep to come to my place of employment and call me on the phone and intimidate me, a grown man, like I was a child." And he said, "I know what guidelines I can follow as far as providing reports." He said, "I have to be mindful of FERPA laws." And he said, "I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get it straight. Make sure he does not ever call me to intimidate me again, because I'm not scared." When he hung up, because he came on via conference call, when he hung up, that judge, and I have the transcript to support what I'm saying, when he hung that phone up, she said, "If he don't give us what we asked for, I will issue a C.P.S. and lock him up." She didn't tell him. She waited till she hung the phone up to say it. And she told it in front of everybody. It's like she was scaring me, because both judges kept telling me that they were going to lock me up, let alone they filed a federal lawsuit against me and Dr. Lucas and 2 other families in Powhatan County, trying to sue us for everything we got, just because we won't stop advocating. And they've ordered gag orders and to seal these files in these federal lawsuits.
Oh, I ain't saying nothing all part. I just want to say this. Well, I want to say a couple things real quick. First, I want to say hey to my wife, because I always do. Hey, baby. But let me say this. Like, as I listen to the persecution that go on for standing up for the right thing. Anybody who know me, a lot of times I say I got the soul of people who was willing to die for what was right. So I want to applaud y'all, like, because this not easy. Like, whether you going through it or not, it's easy to give up in these situations when these people try to intimidate you, when they try to lie on you, when they try to destroy your character. But the people that I respect in Black history are people who didn't care about that. They cared about doing what was right for Black people, not just their Black self, but Black people. And so I really, 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 as I sit here, it's almost admiration. Like, and I hate that y'all have to go through this, but to be willing to fight when you know the fight, I ain't gonna say it's a losing battle, but for years, it, like, even when we win, we kind of lose in this battle. You feel what I'm saying? And to still be willing to fight and stand on the principles to try to make the world better for the next generation of Black people. It's commendable, and it's definitely something that should be admonished.
Very, very, very well said. I won't say I was gonna wait to say all this at the end, but a perfect timing for it. Like, keep fighting. That's all I can say. Keep exposing, keep putting the truth out there. Like you say, it's almost like, I ain't even gonna say lose. It's like a fixed fight. I put it that way. Because it is fixed. The system is fixed to go a certain way. So it's a fixed fight. So it just means we got to fight harder and we got to fight together and fight smarter. That's all. But I'm gonna let y'all keep going on before we wrap up, because it's a lot of information, and I would I'm gonna say this before I let y'all go on. I'm gonna like to continue this episode. This episode is too much information, and for me, for everything y'all spitting out, I want to come back the next time, whether we got to do it at the end of the week, next week, or whatever. We need to have some videos. We need to have whatever we need, like this information you're trying to show. We need to get together in the group, and we need to get all this stuff together so we can have it, and we can show and feed this information, other than just hearing it. Because once we put it on this podcast, it's there for life. So we need people to see that. And ladies, y'all, I missed a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I had to they banging on the doors. I had to run downstairs. I had to do a whole lot. So, but I'm flying back and forth. I done did more walking since this episode than I did all day. Yeah. But I really appreciate it, and I like what's going on. Keep fighting. Don't ever feel like it's going unnoticed. Don't ever feel like it's not serving a purpose or whatever. Whatever you feel is definitely worth it. It's so much to say. I'm all over the place, but I'm gonna go back quiet, and I'm gonna let y'all keep doing y'all thing for the next 15 minutes or so before we gotta get to wrap it up. Maybe even 20.
I just wanted to share that I pulled up the records, okay, and for Carter, and this, just so you guys know, this is public information. This is public information. Can y'all see it?
I mean, I see a screen, but
I'm putting you on the solo screen, and we can try to see what it shows.
Yeah, it's it's still a little glare.
Yeah,
it's a little glare.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna show it next time. But the social worker, Miss Dolan, she actually documented, and I wanted y'all to see this. She actually documented the fact that Carter's grandmother is gone. She read her in the GAL and CASA registered Carter for school, a public school, without notifying the public school that he had just left a restricted mental health facility, a lockdown facility. And from
C.P.S. people.
Yeah. And so that is considered fraud. When you enroll your child in a school and you are not truthful about the terms under which they are enrolled, that is fraud.
Yes, it is. Because they'll even ask you, have you been suspended from a previous school? They ask you all of those things, and you withheld that, and they withheld it because they knew that the school would not have accepted him because they did not have proper restraints to be able to deal with and provide what the baby needed.
But we also
and these are the people that's saying that they're gonna take the people kids because they're gonna do what's better for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
How? Excuse my language, but that's just you just put them in worse, huh? Oh man, I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Well, let me tell you what happened. On July 17th of 2024, a Sands Anderson attorney, Nicole Shook, was given the option as to whether she was going to include Carter and Croy's medical records in their educational file. She was given that choice by a special education hearing officer, Krissa Nelson. Now, Krissa Nelson has been a hearing officer in Virginia for over 20 years, and she has never ruled in favor of a family. And we call her the horse lawyer because her specialty is equestrian law. She deals with people who ride horses. And evidently, she must think that our children are animals as well. But she told the school division that if you want, you don't have to put his medical records in there. There were over 5,000 pages of medical records. And she said that they didn't have to do it. The school division said, we don't want to do it. And so they did not. And those records included medical homebound certifications. And if you don't know what a medical homebound certification, let me educate you real quick. When a doctor takes a child out of school, a doctor may take a child out of school because they got COVID or because they have a long-term, illness. And so a medical certification is a contract. It is a directive that school divisions must follow. It is, and if your child is on Medicaid and the school division accepts Medicaid funding and they disregard a medical certification by a Medicaid authorized medical provider, that is Medicaid fraud, and they can go to jail for that. Okay, so let me just break all this down as to how we fight back people, because this is very, very significant that we understand. Anytime you sign a contract, there is an expectation associated with that. And as of now, when I send my child to school, I have a contract with the school that they're going to make sure my child is safe, that my child is learning. They're going to be what we call the parent away from home, because that's what their job is. I'm a licensed educator and administrator. I know my job. I know what to do to keep my license. Okay, so when we send our children to school, and Black and brown people, I need you to get this. Okay, these are public employees. They work for you. The principal does not own the school. Last time I checked, not one principal has their name on the front of the school. So when principals tell you, I need you to leave, or I need you to do this because you're charged with trespassing, you must challenge that. Anywhere that anywhere my child can't go, that's not gonna happen. If my child is there, I need to be able to have unlimited access. And they want to say, oh, you're this, you're that. That's why we are advocating for consumer-directed educational services, so that we can start going back to what we did in the 1940s and 50s and educate our own children in our own communities in the ways that we know that will work. When Black people, Black children were integrated into white schools, that was one of the most traumatic situations for our community, specifically for those children. They were the sacrificial lambs. Okay, so at this point, what we're having to do is completely do a start over, because the original Brown v. Board of Education approach was, we need the resources. We don't care about going to y'all schools. We just need the equal resources. And we're at that fight again, guys. We're at that fight, because the truth be told, if Minister Sims had the required resources herself under consumer-directed educational services, we wouldn't even be here. We would not even be here. And I need to make it clear, Minister Sims talked about Dr. Kawaja, all the doctors, nurse practitioner, Holly Halston, Mr. Ross, everyone, we had top people testify, experts testify that these children needed to be placed where they needed to be placed and not in a public school. When Margaret DeGlow, and I'm going to call her name out, Margaret DeGlow, the J&D judge, ordered Carter to public school within 60 days. Within 60 days, he was suspended 6 times, had threat assessments, and was changed into a more restricted setting, put in a private day school, which is the placement that Minister Sims had requested from the get-go. Within 60 days. I want y'all to let that, and they hid it from us. They hid it from us. And that's the important part. Sands Anderson, the grandmother, the maternal grandmother, Teresa, they hid it from us. They had the meeting without us. Then they had the nerve to put him in a school where the aunt works at, that has the most horrible reputation, Rivermont, for restraining Black children. So someone tell me how that's the best interest of the child. Anyone? I'll wait. Anyone? And so everything that has been done regarding these children has been for the best interest of the perverts and the pedophiles and the prostitutes, those that harm our children. It has not been for the best interest of the child. It has been for the best interest of Shannon Taylor. It has been for the best interest of Brandon Nexon. It has been for the best interest of Judge DeGlow, Margaret DeGlow. I don't even like to call them judges, because if you're a judge and you can go to sleep at night knowing that you put 2 of the most vulnerable, traumatized children.
Well, Dr. Lucas, don't leave out Judge Stacy Lee, the one who terminated my complete custody and only gave me 5 hours 2 Saturdays out of a month, the second and the fourth Saturday. My grandkids are never to come back to my house again. And she also stated, I'm never to see them on holidays again. They don't treat pedophiles like that. And I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Hold on, Minister Sims.
Mhm.
Mind you, these children, you all heard what these children went through. And they were with the grandmother. The only normalcy they know is grandma and grandpa. And so you take them and put them with people they have not been with, and this strange man in the same setting that they were in with their mother when she got murdered.
Didn't even want him.
Did not want them. In fact, they in Croy, in fact, the maternal grandmother violated the visitation order. She was supposed to make sure that the boys were visiting there. Every time Minister Sims attempted to get the visitation order honored, she would disregard it. And they wanted nothing to do with Croy. Nothing to do with him. And so this is why I also say, Black people, we are our own worst enemies. And Stacey Lee is a Black woman. She's a judge that's a Black woman. And so we have to understand. We filed a formal complaint against Judge DeGlow for disregarding all the medical documentation and putting Carter back in public school. And the Jerk Commission, where we filed the official complaint, indicated that they agreed with us. Something was really wrong with her for doing that. But they let her stay on the bench. Virginia, every December, all the state judges go to be interviewed to keep their seat. Guess who's going to show up in December to start holding these J&D district and circuit court judges accountable? It's going to be us. And guess what? I don't care if it's not your cycle time, if it's like, oh, your 6 years isn't up. As of now, your time is up. We are going to demand the debenching of Margaret DeGlow, the debenching, okay, of Stacey Lee, the debenching of Teresa Royal, because you know what? Until we start taking these bad actors and making them personally accountable, this whole RICO enterprise of special education student trafficking, SPED kids for SPED cash will not work. Many of you already know I have issued a petition to have the entire Powhatan School Board removed and their Commonwealth attorney. I've issued a notice to Shannon Taylor that we're going to have a petition to have her removed. If you are an elected official and you are not protecting our children, you cannot remain in your position, and you have violated your oath as well as the Constitution of the United States.
Shannon is going to do what's right.
Well, we're coming for you.
She's gonna definitely do what's right. I do want to put out there that I have made contact with Shannon. And she's gonna do what's right.
Those kids better be back tomorrow by high noon.
But listen, I'm gonna say this. Even
those kids.
I'm coming for CPS. I'm gonna say this. I'm coming for CPS because they just demonic. And I want to say this because folks may see that they'll say that this is a lot and disassociate themselves, thinking that they are far removed from CPS coming to them. Let me tell y'all, with my truancy case, my daughter has a medical situation, and she's out of school a lot. So the school was like, well, she needs to go to the doctor every single time. And I said, absolutely not. There's nothing that they can do unless it's worse. And they've given me what needs to be done, right? So again, they make the decision that I'm being neglectful. Even though we have the doctor saying what they're saying, right?
But the thing is that in the same school division is Sands Anderson. And Sands Anderson Law Firm is telling the parent over in Powhatan that every time his child has an anxiety attack at school, in order for the child to come back, he has to take the child to the doctor. But the anxiety attack was from the school.
So you see all of this, and so they're like, send her to school anyway. She cannot go to school anyway when she's having these stomach issues. And so when they was like, well, we're coming and you got to go to this meeting, and there's like, if you don't do XYZ, we're gonna bring in CPS. I said, look, call in everybody so we can have one meeting so I can tell everybody the same thing at the same time.
It doesn't matter because
it is just that what I'm saying to them is, though, Candace, is that it doesn't just because CPS comes for anybody. It doesn't just because you think you're a good parent don't mean CPS is not coming. Don't think that you are excused because you do all of the things. CPS will show up for any reason whatsoever.
Except to protect your child.
Except
to protect your child. We report, in fact, the new superintendent.
We can't hear you, Dr. Lucas.
The new superintendent, Andy Armstrong, that's over Goochland, where Minister Sims is right now, he actually was reported for driving one of the teachers home, Kim Taylor, who abused nonverbal children. Cover it up. And he's the superintendent in Goochland right now. He was the principal at John Rolfe Middle School, and he ended up driving this drunk, high teacher who had a pattern and practice of abusing children. And Henrico County Public Schools agreed not to revoke his license or report him to CPS as long as he didn't come back. And guess what he did? He went to another school. He went to Richmond City Public Schools and abused more children. But see, he went to the ghetto part of Richmond City, and they didn't play.
So all right. Listen, so I wanna get this in real quick because I want to let everybody get a closing remark in because, like I said, we got to get it tuned off. So I'm gonna let I don't know who want to go first. It don't matter. Let everybody get a 2 or 3 minute closing remark in, and then I'm gonna let Mike get a couple of minutes in, and then I'm gonna say what I gotta say before we end. But we definitely, I don't know if it gotta be a part 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, but we definitely gonna do another show. The information is, and it got to get out there.
Social justice might have to be a weekly thing, bro.
Listen, we could listen. We'll talk about that later because you know I gotta go. So you trying to start me up, so I get to going. I've been quiet all day now. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead with y'all 2 minute closing remarks and say anything you gotta say. If you got any work or sites or whatever, shout that out and tag it in the comments so people that's looking that don't know you can know where to follow you or whatever you got going on. And I'm gonna let y'all start with y'all last closing remark.
Go ahead, Minister.
Yes. What I want to say is I want to give a shout out to some of the parents that are out there fighting just like I am. I want to give a shout out to Cheryl Wilson. I want to get a shout out to Miss Jenkins. We got Jaquez for Cheryl. We got Rajon for Miss Jenkins. We got Wendy, son Aaron. We have Sarah. Her children were taken by CPS. Understand, these parents are fighting like never before because either they're putting them in the prison like they try to do with Jaquez and Henrico. There is an Aaron Little procedures that fell into the parents' hand, praise God, because those Aaron Little procedures is how Sands Anderson is raping and robbing parents of their rights, and they're depriving people of their constitutional amendment rights. Civil rights, they're all being violated. These people have a criminalized organization. I call them the mob. I don't know about y'all. I mean, I've witnessed mob tendencies from these people. And they're organized with it because they have all types of entities that have joined in. So tonight, I want to commend Cheryl. I want to commend Wendy. I want to commend Miss Jenkins. I want to commend Sarah. I want to commend any parent that's going through this. And there is a lot of us. So you're right. We need to come back, and this need to be a safe place. Also, I want to say I keep a video. I'm urging families, and I'm telling you, record everything. They can't stand it because what they do behind closed doors. But you know, the Bible says what's done in the dark will come to the light. I thank God for this platform. Come on over to Truth Talk and Advocacy on Facebook. It's our group page, and Ethiopian Epiphany, and also, and I'll let Candace tell you about her other Facebook pages and her website and her businesses. But come on over to Truth Talk and Advocacy. It's a safe place. Share your videos, share your testimonies. I have posted everything. I keep videos, I keep documentation, etc., because I know exposure and sunlight is what's going to defeat the enemy. The Bible says what's done behind closed doors will be shouted on the rooftops. And the Bible said the truth will set you free. And I'm out to make some folks free, whether they want it or not. They threatened to lock me up plenty of times, but that jail cell you meant for me, I can tell you that God says that the blind follow blind, the blind lead the blind, and they all fall in a ditch. So keep doing what you're doing. I don't have to do anything. My God will fight my battles for me.
Amen. Amen. On to the
Candace.
next, Dr. Lucas.
Hey, I
All
said
right.
so much. But I will say this. We're about to do email protests, and they can't stand when we send emails, y'all. And when I say an email protest, that means that every hour on the hour, we send straight up email call to action demanding that the individuals who are violating our constitutional rights and who have kidnapped our children return them immediately. And after a while, the school divisions, the attorneys, everybody gets so mad that they block my email, but that doesn't mean anything because I just create a new one. And so what we're going to do is we're going to launch an email campaign against Judges Stacey Lee and Judge Margaret DeGlow. And the email that we're going to use is EJAC. I'm going to put it in the chat. Jacoby, EJACOBY at VACOURTS.gov. And I'm going to put that in the chat, and it's going to be simple. Return Croy and Carter to Minister and Mr. Sims. End of story. Real simple. And that email, and you can say Judge Stacey Lee. And Minister Sims didn't ask me to do this. I did this on my own. So if anybody want to say something, y'all need to know. We need to hold these judges accountable. And we need to make sure that we're emailing them and letting them know. And the next email I'm going to give you is for Judge Robert Payne, the one who told me that he can't believe anything that I say, that I'm practicing law without a license, and that he called me everything but a child of God. Okay. You can email him at Nikki _Brown at BAED.UScourts.gov. He is the judge who presided over 2 cases in which he had Walmart and Capital One stock, and they did not debench him. He has called me a liar. He has called me, he has said that I harm children. He has banned me from helping any child, any family in federal court that may need support. He has banned me and has no reason. He has even said that I kept children out of school when the medical providers took them out of school. Okay, this is a federal court judge who says that I have no right to empower families to advocate on their behalf. And I think BeKura was in the last court case where he sat for 20 minutes and read a motion line by line, trying to find all the typographical errors. Did he not, BeKura?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, you want to go there? I just had 73 examples from the white folks over there that are licensed attorneys. 73 examples of their errors.
Put those emails in the comments so everybody can see them.
I definitely will. And Judge Payne needs to recuse himself from any case involving me. Since 2018, he has assigned all the cases involving me to himself so that he can engage in a judicial lynching. And I'm not tolerating it anymore. Period. He's not going to stop me from advocating for families who need us. And he's not going to stop me from doing what I'm licensed to do and what God has called me to do.
That's right.
So one of us
That's
got
right.
to go, and it ain't going to
That's
be
right.
me.
That's right. Kira, your last closing remarks.
Listen, as I've always said, this is why if it is the law that oppresses and the law that frees, it is the law that the thing that we should know. It is, we must know this. And we cannot sit idly by and just watch people fight for our rights. We have to get involved in that same fight. We must do that. And also, I think a lot of people that don't do this work have assumptions about those of us that do this work, you know, whatever it is. But it takes a strong person to have to go out there and fight these judges and these police and C.P.S. and all of that stuff. And so show a little bit more gratitude and support instead of trying to throw us under the bus with all these stereotypes, because we all you got.
And Carter and Corey better be returned to Minister Sims by high noon tomorrow.
All righty, Mike. Let's go, Mike. Your last closing remarks and statements you got to say. I'm proud of you, man. You was quiet the whole show, taking it all in. We know how you could go. I'm proud.
Because honestly, man, this is one of the main goals of listening pleasure, to put out information, to inform people, to motivate the people. Like, it was some people who before the day been talking and talking, like, man, I want to get into this fight. They heard these 3 stories, and man, they want to join the fight for real now. Like, they looking into getting in the fight, and like that's what we here to do. I'm thankful that y'all came with the information and the stories, because just as much as people need to hear the information, people need to hear the stories and how people get affected. Like Minister Sims, it's a person inside of me that want to go beat people up for you. Like, it's a person, like, I just want to, like, I can go get them for you. I just go beat up on people. Like, but it's other people who gonna jump into this fight based off that same kind of fire, whether they fighting with their hands or they fighting in the courtroom. So this is what, like, we set out to do from the beginning. So I'm definitely thankful. Like you said, part 2, and then again, man, I'm all for talking about social reform and helping our kids whenever, because I see it on so many different levels, from the juvenile to reffing the little kids to teaching a little class in the school. Man, they need so much help. And for whatever reason, adults got so many different agendas. The agendas ain't what's best for the kids no more. Like, adults got 1,000 different agendas on, and the kids are the pawns in the game, and that's where I draw the line. Again, I'm thankful for y'all being here, spreading the word and the information, and I look forward to the next time we do this.
Definitely, most definitely. It's crazy. It's closing remarks, and
Rob, you were supposed to say something that you told me to remind you to say, and I done forgot. So I hope you know what you were supposed to say. We was talking about it yesterday in reference to this new psychology and social work stuff that's gonna have our communities messed up. It was something about that, and I said I need you to say that on the show. Do you remember?
hell no, I ain't even. Excuse me, minister. I ain't even gonna lie. Sheesh. It's listen. This closing remarks, and I normally be here when I'm ready to go. I got a lot to spit to get it out, and I don't know where to start. Like, it's so much information. It's the fight. The work is never gonna be done, and don't never give up. Well, that's one thing. But the end goal is to get our kids into better hands. But the better hands don't mean foster cares. Definitely not the caseworkers of CPS, but into our hands, to the hands of the communities, to the families and etc. You know what I mean? Those that's gonna pay attention and do what's best for the kids. We got to support those families before they could be broken up, like ministers going through, and then we got to hold the system accountable and break it up for all the stuff that they saying today. In better words, I'm not gonna go through a whole lot. But I say it like this for those that believe in the system and whatever. The government can't love a child. They just a system and they just don't have the child in the best interest. Court order can't heal your trauma. Court order ain't gonna do what's best for the child. That's human work, and that's gonna take us. You know what I mean? Us as the people, us as the community, us that really gives. Excuse me again, minister, but my dad a bishop, so I get a little loose. I ain't God still working on me. But those that really give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Sorry.
She done heard me. She done heard me.
But those that really give a fuck, man, like, we got to understand it ain't just the system. There's a lot of people in our way that look like us, talk like us, and be around us that's in the way as well. So
that
I got so much I want to say, man, but I'm just gonna
I'm about to make a church joke. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's hilarious. No, I'm silly. We were singing "Be Patient with Me" when we was in the Sunshine Band, man. You almost 50 years old. God still working on.
Yeah, man.
That is hilarious.
You got a lot of work. I came a long ways, man. But with that saying, like we said, the work got to be done, man. We got to do it. Let's get to it. Let's keep grinding. And it's like any other job. Yeah, you're going to have some good days, some bad days. And if you super fighter, some days you're going to take a day off. It's all right. But don't stop. That's all that matters. Don't stop. And when you do take that day off, everybody needs some rest. You ain't superhuman. Your body going to tell you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need a break. That's okay. Just keep fighting. So we definitely going to get together and get a part 2, 3, whatever we need to do. And we're going to keep pushing this case. I want to follow up on it. And it's crazy because I was talking to Kira about a kid or a case I need to find more information about.
I can't find them.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to some people tomorrow. I've just been super busy. I still got to send, you already know all the stuff I'm going through right now.
Before you end, though, I do want to say justice for Kimani, a young infant that was killed in foster care in North Carolina. They still have not told the mother what happened. They have pressed charges against my sister in the work for trespassing, for advocating for the family. And this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to jail. Like we just know we are. Like, and that's okay. But children are
just have your
dying.
bail money ready. Have your bail money
Children
ready.
are dying. And not only have our bail money ready, the community need to be like, open that jail up now. You see how them advocates acting in DC? They not playing with Trump. They out there on shifts, not playing. Harriet's Wildest Dreams. Shout out to my sister Nene Tay with Harriet's Wildest Dreams and Kiana Johnson with Life After Release. They not playing with these legislators. Stop letting them take advantage of you. Stop letting them give you hot dogs and book bags and buy you out while they selling out you and your children. Stop it. Stand up. It's not a game.
True. We got to, and I want to say this, and I'm supposed to do this. Listen, this is the wrong timing, but listen, there ain't no time better than the present. We supposed to been doing it for a while. We do, like Mike said, our purpose is to get this information out, and we got different causes, fees, and we trying to get different things as we got our show going on. So I put this out for our podcast, our viewers, and all those. This is a way you can support us. I don't know if you can see that. That's our Cash App. You can scan to donate so we can keep doing this. We got season 3. We'll be on the road interviewing, and we're going to be pulling up at events. We're going to be pulling up at events going live so we can get the word out to those that want to get the word out for those that want to put the word out, I should have said. But with that being said, I thank everybody for coming on. I'm going to wrap it up.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Hope y'all don't be strangers. We welcome y'all back, and we're gonna do it again. We're gonna get better.
Next time you come back, you get your own Kool-Aid.
That's right. Your own Kool-Aid, and we're gonna be better. And we're gonna get those clips and everything together. But as I always say, may the wind always be at your back and the sun always upon your face, and may the wings of destiny carry you aloft to dance with the stars. Until next time, keep listening with pleasure, and y'all be safe and take care of them babies. We out.
Two friends. Peace out.
All
Peace.
right. Thank
Thank
y'all.
y'all. Y'all be
Bye.
blessed. Powerful man. Thank you. Bless y'all.
All righty.